Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me. This is Pastor Allen. Amen. God bless you. It's an honor as always to come before you. Amen. But this day, I come before you with some points I want to draw to your attention and to cause you to think. Some questions, some rhetorical questions I'm going to put out there to you. And you will begin to think about them yourself. And I want to say again, thank you to the naysayers and the critics. Amen. For coming on and making your comments and asking questions. Thank you. I am never discouraged or disappointed nor challenged by your questions, no matter how negative they may seem. I want to make this point to you, though. There are some of you that are asking, how is it that this man always on Facebook calling people names, defaming their character and character assassination and whatever, however you word them? Well, let me ask you this question, and I think one of you may have asked it yourself. How is it that he's doing these things, and the names of the persons that he's calling and the banks and so forth, none of them, even in the government, are stepping forward and refuting and discrediting what he is saying? That's food for thought. Yeah. Ask yourself why they ain't doing this. Because understand this, I've given them every information they need about me. What I said to them is, listen, take me to court. Sue me. Challenge me. Take me to court for defamation of character, for defaming you, and let's see what the court has to say when I produce the documents, and then you will have to really give an account to what I'm saying. So I pray that all of you, Nathaniel Bennett, let me do it right, corrupt Nathaniel Bennett, corrupt Hubert Ingram, corrupt Perry Christie, Hickson Johnson, and all of y'all, Harvey Tynes, all of y'all, Renee Fisher, all of y'all take me to court. So, Pastor Allen, I will appear. And I will produce what I have and then let you answer to them, since you say I am defaming you or defamation of your character. The court. Go ahead, sue me. That's my point. Well, here's what I want to ask you also. Maybe you can answer this and help your naysayers with these questions, eh? Here we go. Why are there so many international financial representation at the central bank today? Why is it? There's so many of them at the center. Watch this. These are international financial representation here at the central bank. This is the largest contingent ever. Ask yourself why. Watch this now. Let me help you then. 2, the Bahamas government extension. On this, you can blame Carl Bethel and Peter Tenquest. Yeah, blame them for the extension. When the Bahamas banking institution gets shut down, you blame these guys, Carl Bethel, yeah, and Peter Tenquest, simply because they refused to provide DeReCK RoLLe record, which J.P. Morgan provided, which proved that they have sent money to the Royal Bank. Yeah, this is what they're doing, the extension. The government refused to produce DeReCK RoLLe record, of which J.P. Morgan already produced to the government, to the central bank, that they have sent buku amount of money to the Royal Bank. They've proven this. RBC turned around, take the bulk of the money, sent it to the central bank, who in turn, the central bank, dispersed the money to certain banks, such as Barclays, which is now CIBC, Scotiabank, and then Commonwealth Bank. These are the banks that are tied in with the DeReCK RoLLe. Oh yeah, I said Commonwealth Bank? Yeah, that's Brent Simonet's bank. Yes. See, this thing goes so deep than you really know. They've been hiding this thing. Listen, this was from over 22 years ago, this thing was running. And these guys have never thought that this would come to light. Hubert Ingram, Nathaniel Bennett, Perry Christie, they never thought that this thing would ever come to light. Now, all these banks that I call, now they have to give an account for DeReCK RoLLe money. This is why you have this great contingent of international financial representation at the central bank as you're listening to this today. Now, they won't tell you this. I want you to know the Bahamas banking institution will never be the same when this is true. Now, Pastor Allen ain't talking crazy. Where there is smoke, fire is in fire. The government is having a hard time now gathering all the money after 22 years. of this money filtering into the country for DeReCK RoLLe. 22 years of this money. Now watch here. Here's what's even interesting, because I was with DeReCK. DeReCK RoLLe, yeah, had signed over watch this, watch me closely, and ask Nathaniel them, ask you in England if this is not true. DeReCK RoLLe had signed over $5 billion to the government to put on the national debt. This is not hearsay. Ask Hubert Ingram, ask Nathaniel Beneby, ask Perry Christie. DeReCK RoLLe had signed over $5 billion to put on the national debt. Watch it. Watch this. That $5 billion is unaccounted for. Mr. Ingram, Christie, Nathaniel, where has this $5 billion gone? Now, records will show. Remember I said J.P. Morgan? This is not a Bahamian institution. This is an American financial institution. This has been proven. Mr. Ingram, Nathaniel Beneby, when I call you all corrupt, I make no apology about that. Perry Christie, when I call you all corrupt, I make no apology about it and will speak it from the hilltop. Let me ask y'all this question. Where is the $5 billion? Where? Where's the $5 billion? Watch this. If there is no full accounting of what has taken place by the extended deadline, the Bahamas will be cut off from the international banking community. Peter Turnquest and Carl Bettelheim, they're not sleeping good. Because this money, now the international world has already proven, the international banking community has already proven that this money, these monies was sent to the Bahamas. Ask them to produce J.P. Morgan records, where it has been proven that this money came into the country for DeReCK RoLLe. But like I said, that crook, that criminal, that corrupt bishop, managing director of the Royal Bank of Canada, Nathaniel Beneby, and corrupt, extremely corrupt, one of the worst corrupt prime ministers in the Western Hemisphere, Hubert Alexander Ingram. This man is corrupt to the core. Even without talking about the DeReCK RoLLe, check him with Cable Bahamas and some other stuff that he's involved in, the Aragonite and all. Watch him and Brent Simonette. These are corrupt demons. Pastor Allen called y'all that. No other pastor in the country will dare stand up to y'all and say stuff like this. But I don't care what you can do to me. When I come home, you can't do me nothing. Because we've got records to prove of y'all nasty, devious, corrupt ways. But like I said, J.P. Morgan, come on, Carl Bettelheim, Peter Turnquest. Put your surrogates on. Confront, refute, rebuke what I'm saying. Come on, come on. Take me to court. Matthew Keith Allen. Come on, man. Y'all take me to court. I told y'all what my address. Yeah, 2235 Morrow, Georgia. Take me to court. Phone number 9542132636. Easily accessible. Take me to court. Let me come and produce every piece of documents with the attorneys that we have that are working this matter and show you all how corrupt you are. And I pray, but I know your local court won't do anything because y'all got the court system corrupt in your favor. But there's an international court that's judging y'all. We're just going to expose you to the Bahamian people and let you all see. Let them see how corrupt you are. And as a matter of fact, those of you who won't get offended, somebody say, you just unrobing us before the international community. Well, wait a minute. Wasn't it your current prime minister who went away on a corruption seminar a couple of months ago and talked about how corrupt the Bahamas is? This is your prime minister, Hubert Minnis, speaking to how corrupt the country is. And you get mad at me because I call Hubert Ingram corrupt? You get mad at me because I call Perry Christie corrupt? Nathaniel Beneby corrupt? We'll wait until we finish, because I am now aligning myself with Sarkis's millions attorneys and what's not. They're coming back to get their money, Perry Christie, Alison Maynard, Jerome Fitzgerald, y'all corrupt thieving dogs. Yes, I said it. Y'all thought y'all could steal billions from this man and swing with the Exim Bank of China and kick this man. Y'all are thieves. But you never thought these days were coming. So like I said, are y'all ready for what's about to take place? Naysayers, you don't have to believe me. After watching this video, get in your car, go right to the central bank yourself. Ask to speak to the governor. of the central bank. Ask them if there's any international financial representation probing in the bank as we speak. Ask them about JP Morgan, the FBI, Canada's police. All this stuff is taking place right in your country right now. They're probing and getting ready to drop the bomb on y'all. But you're mad at me for speaking it. You ain't mad at your government who gave Oban $5.5 billion for nothing and a whole bunch of land. I see y'all making a noise calling them corrupt. No. Y'all just hate the truth. And because my name is not a big name like Ingram, Christie, Simonet, I'm just a local grassroots like you. And you don't expect grassroots to have common sense and to think on this level and to be privy to this kind of information. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. I will not be another ignorant nigger who don't seek out truth and have facts to back up everything that I'm saying. So here we go, Mr. Nathaniel Benabee. I told y'all this was coming. I made no apology about it. I told y'all this was coming. I said from Jump Street, I was never expecting the Royal Bahamas Police Force to do any sort of internal investigation into this. That's just not, it's too big for them. One phone call from corrupt Ingram to the Commissioner of Police or to the Minister of National Security, and everything goes sine-die. You never hear nothing about it. But here's what you couldn't do, Mr. Ingram. You couldn't call JP Morgan and shut them down. You couldn't call the State Department and shut them down. You couldn't call the Treasury, the U.S. Treasury Department, because every dollar that leaves America has a code to it. Y'all just thought y'all was, let me use the regular Bahamian vernacular. Y'all just thought y'all could a thief and give account to nobody. That's why you could make the comment, Mr. Ingram. You got more money than you and your grandchildren could ever spend. True, you do. Nathaniel made sure that corrupt bishop from the Church of God of Prophecy, managing director of Royal Bank, Nathaniel, he made sure that you all were taken care of. So you provide that kind of protection for him from the police. Christie came along, did the very same thing. Now his cousin through marriage, who happens to be the serving prime minister today, protecting him also. But they only could protect them from protect him and those from the Royal Bahamas Police Force. I'm not condemning the force. They only could do what they could do, which is very little when it comes to this matter. But you couldn't stop the international community like we swore we would seek the intervention of. And now it's on your door. So in closing, Nathaniel, you and Mr. Ingram and you all get together. Mr. Ingram, do your press conference, get some of your surrogates, you and Perry Christie, and call me a liar. That's okay. But we're going to produce. Let me see you call the documents that are being produced lies. Like I told you before, Hubert Ingram, we've got copies of the letter that bank manager sent to you requesting the release of DeReCK's money. We got that. So call me a liar. And while you're doing that, make sure y'all tell the country what happened to the $5 billion that was signed over to the government to put on the national debt. We'll get back to y'all corrupt in a few. Later.